So, good morning for everyone on the line. Hyvää huomenta, and welcome to follow this presentation to this morning, which is called Connecting City Development Project in a Unified Platform. And I think that most of the participants know me, but my name is Jenny Aholand. I'm working as a communication and membership coordinator at RIL. And this morning our presentation is Alaa Alshawa, I'm sorry if pronouncing it wrong, but who is the CEO and co-founder of Combify. And with Alaa, there is also Alexandra Halfia there on the line, and I think that Alexandra will tell you more about Combify, but Combify's office is in Stockholm, and they are Combify designs and digital tools for visualizing communication buildings and city development projects. And about this morning and schedule of this morning, we have about an hour time for present, and I think that if you participants have questions for Alaa or Alexandra, you can wait until they are finished, and then we have time for questions after the presentation. And then I will share the Alaa's presentation materials for all the participants after the presentation, and we will also record this presentation. So if you cannot be here for this whole time, you can watch the presentation later. And also, if you have some questions after the presentation for Alaa or Alexandra, I'm sure you have email for in this presentation, but I can also send you questions of participants later. So if you are ready, Alaa and Alexandra, the stage is yours, and you can start.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jenny. And hello, everyone. My name is Alexandra Halfia. I am the co-founder of Combify. Combify stands for Communicating Buildings Simplified. We are a startup based in Stockholm. We started the company 2 years ago, and we work with our vision was and is to simplify the communication of building and construction projects. And yeah, we're a startup, so it's me and Alaa, and our main customers are municipalities, building developers, and architects. So Alaa will take over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So hello, everyone. So my name is Alaa Alshawa. Thank you, Jenny, for this opportunity. And yeah, so today we're going to talk about what we are doing at the company and about the platform and just the idea of communicating with other stakeholders and the public, people who are not technical, who can't use CAD softwares and BIM that we are using. So
we just want to make sure, can you, is it visible, the presentation?
Yeah, we can see the slides, or I can see, and I'm sure that everyone else also, so thank you.
Okay, great. So first of all, like, what tool and softwares are we using today as engineers and architects? So we mainly use BIM softwares and CAD softwares to make all the project drawings. And those softwares are developed and advanced where we actually have access for all the information about the projects. So it's data-driven softwares, and it's not a problem for us to actually understand the project we're doing and we're working with. But the problem here is that not all the stakeholders that are involved in a project can open these softwares. They don't actually sometimes understand what is BIM, what BIM stands for, and they can't open an IFC file. So it's really hard for them to get access to this data as quickly as we can, architects and engineers. So, and if we talk numbers, like 3 to 5% actually of the stakeholders in a construction project can open and work with a BIM file. So it's really hard for them. So the way we communicate with them is we move from Beam into PDFs. So we export this latest update of our project, the project drawings and the data, and then we export it to them. So that is a big shift from going from a Beam model to PDF, and it's really hard to keep track of. It's actually impossible to keep track of all the updates, because you easily get lost with the amount of PDFs about like the latest updates of a project, and then it's only the head architect who has access to this latest information, which makes us actually work in silos or create many silos where it's hard to communicate, which create this communication problem. So many industries solve this problem actually by moving to the cloud. But the main problem with our industry that it's very unique, that we are drawing based industry. So we not only work with documents or spreadsheets, we deal with drawings, and it's really hard to digitize these drawings. So the easiest way is just like to print it out in a digital format as the PDFs we're talking about. So we think that we need as an industry to figure this problem out and solve it. And the way to do that is to move to the cloud. But to move to the cloud, we need to figure out a way to do that. So, and that is by creating like a unified platform where you actually have this data environment where we can interact with the drawings and extract data about the project, but without me being technical or having the knowledge to deal with Beam software, because they are pretty complex for other stakeholders. But what this platform should allow us to do, so it should first solve the visualization problem, where we actually need to solve the drawings problem and show our project construction and architecture drawings. And from there, we can move into the collaboration, communication, tracking the project, and the project management. But first of all, we can't move a traditional folder system into the cloud and then expect that other stakeholders will actually use it, because it's only made for us. So now let's just have a look about like what such a platform could look like. The purpose of this platform is, as I said, it's not for the engineers who are using Beam, it's for everyone else. So let's start with how a platform might look like from a bigger scale. So we think of starting from the GIS and moving towards the project ID and drawings. So we start from the country map, and then we visualize and show all the ongoing construction areas in the country. And that is actually all like accessible data. It's all out there. It's every municipality present this data to the general public, but it's quite like hidden sometimes in their website, and it's really hard to access. So the best way is actually to collect and unify this data in one platform, and then invite all the stakeholders to come and collaborate with their own projects data. So if we zoom in this platform, we start seeing the footprint of every ongoing construction project in the city that is run by these ASC companies and the municipality who is taking control of the area. So if we click on one of these projects, we get a highlight information about this project, where it's actually, this is, I forgot to say that this is the public level of the platform. So we have 3 levels in the platform. You have like then the public view, where they just have highlighted information about the project, and then you have the stakeholders, and those are actually people who are involved in some of these projects. Then you have the project creators who own some of these projects on the platform. So me as a public, I can come in and see a highlight information about the project. And then if the project creator wants me to get access to more data, then I can explore the project by now going into these boundaries and start seeing the site plan, for example.
Like we did in Stockholm style.
Exactly. Like, for example, this project is Stockholm Seaport. It's a mega project in Stockholm. It's the biggest sustainable project in Europe. And it was a really big problem for all the stakeholders that are involved in this project to communicate between each others and to communicate with the public about what is happening in the area. So we solved this problem by collecting around 300 GIS files regarding this project and 30 CAD files plus many BIM models for every building. And all the Excel sheets data, and in one digital twin of the project that can be run on a web browser and has different access, starting from the public, ending with the stakeholders who have access to everything. So in this example, we can see this project timeline. First, you can see you can track the project in today and what is ongoing now, the near future, the near plan, and then what is the future is going to look like. So here you see the site plan of the project, and all of these are actually linked data from CAD and BIM models that the architects and urban planners and engineers working with. If we go to the future, here you can see what is going to happen and what is going to, of course, in a 2D view. So here, like, you see the difference, and then you can dive in more, zoom in, and start seeing other objects, like more details to the landscape. And all of these are actually BIM objects that contain all its data. Then we can go, for example, for the building uses, and then here you can click on every building and get information about the company that is developing and building the project, and other data like when is the construction start and when it's going to be ended, how many apartments are we building, the energy consumption of this building. Then if the builder of this project wants to communicate in the same actually profile with the public about what are we building inside this building, so we can move even in site and everything. Now you are like, you have this one experience. You don't need to open and close files or PDFs. You are just on a web browser. Then you get inside the building, and then you start what actually is being built in here. And of course, like, not every stakeholder want to, or like a building company want to communicate to that level. But here I'm showing you the possibility, because you have privacy policies here where we can control who can see and what they can see. So here you can, for example, like the building company here wanted only to show what they are building and their apartments for potential buyers, what they are, like the areas of the apartments, and then the prices. So this building company, when they sign into the platform, they get access to all their projects that they are running in the city, and each of them is connected to their project profile and connected to their like BIM and drawings, where they can upload and edit the information and have this smooth updating process, instead of going back to InDesign or using Adobe softwares and like start dealing with PDF and updating it, and then make sure that everyone else is not using the latest, is not using like an old one. And for each project, you have your builders or people that you are collaborating with, and then you start inviting those people for to collaborate with the project.
To contribute with their own data.
Exactly. So if you are working a mega project, then you can invite the other collaborators who are working in the construction next to you, and then they can as well contribute to their data, or you can internally invite your colleagues to contribute with your own project. So yeah, this is like a brief about what we think.
Yeah, and if I may just add here that we have, when we started working with big or even small and medium sized city development projects, we were focused on the 3D visualization first, but then when we saw that there is a gap between the stakeholders, the architects, the engineers, the building developer, or the municipality, that everyone has their own communication tools. So it's hard to access the data and just have everything in one place. So we shifted and we decided to try and find a solution to fill the gaps in the communication between the stakeholders. And as we all know that this is a global issue, we've never seen a construction project that is done in time. We are still under development with the platform. A part of it is live and is used by Stockholm municipality and other a number of different companies and municipalities here in Sweden. But we are, as we see that this is a global issue, and I'm assuming that you might relate to it in Finland as well. So we are trying to learn even more from the industry to see where the pains, so we can develop this platform in the best beneficial way that everyone can use.
Exactly, and I think I can show like here a live example of this project that I was talking about. So here, if we visit, for example, like Stockholm City, my website, where they are actually talking about and presenting this project to the public. So we see that they used parts of, instead of using pictures, static pictures to present the project data. So now they use part of this profile, interactive profile on their website, where it's all linked to one dashboard where you have this, you control all data about the project. So for example, here, if we full screen this, so here you see now you are getting information about the bicycles for every building, bicycle parking. So as you see, this data is being contributed from all those stakeholders for the buildings, depend on their design and their numbers. And then here you can start exploring the project more by, you can like really zoom out and go to the whole picture and see.
Because sorry, when Stockholm municipality, when we first met them last year, they told us about, we have this very important project, the most sustainable project in Sweden and one of the biggest, if not the biggest in Europe. But we feel that there is so much data that is linked to it, and we don't know how can we just get all of the data, as my colleague said, the drawings, the GIS files, and the Excel sheets. How can we all collect all of this data in one place that everyone can understand and contribute to? So this was the result that, and it's still under process, as we said. So how can we just create something that is intuitive and easy and will hopefully solve a problem in the industry today?
Yeah, it's actually the way we see it now is like to create like a digital twin of the world, and then those who are building in our city owns this digital profile in this digital world, and then they can communicate with us and between each others about what are they building and how they are building it. So that is like to really simplify the idea. So if I am a construction or a company or an engineer, I have my portfolio on this plan, on this world map, and then I have control over like the areas that I am building. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is like more or less the very.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe you can go back to the last slide of the presentation.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is briefly the problem that we're trying to tackle and solve, and we would love to hear your feedback as you are direct stakeholders from the industry. Like, what are your thoughts about this, and if you have any questions or anything that is unclear? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alaa and Alexandra. And well, if somebody else have questions, they can ask too. But I have some questions. So, in addition to Stockholm, do you use this platform in some other cities, or have you tried in other areas?
Yeah, of course. We have many other projects for big building companies that are using this.
Okay, so the map, like the first map which you showed us, there are other areas that you are using it, or?
Yeah, exactly. So
okay.
Parts, but yeah, it's parts of it, but the whole map is still under development. It will be launched in March, April.
Okay.
The big world map, but
okay.
Yeah.
So I can really briefly show you like other company who is actually using the same concept here. So this is like a smaller municipality in Sweden, where they are like mainly they are ski resort, a big ski resort for people that coming from Sweden to ski in here. So here they have the vision for the 2040 to the whole area. So they want to develop like they add 10,000 new beds to the area for all the people who are coming to ski. So they had massive amount of data regarding this area. So here they start using our digital twin for asking the architects and the people who are, and the urban planners, especially at this stage, to contribute with their own data, so they have like one unified ID. So here you see, for example, the situation plan, and then here, like when you move to 2030, you start to see like, okay, what is going to be built, as you see. And this is a very good way to keep everyone updated. And then you can actually dive in and then start seeing like what are now the concept behind the development area and what are they planning to build in each area.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting that the timeline is so long, so you can see the area developing.
It's
so
a very big area that they want to develop. Yeah.
Exactly, and at the same time, you can actually see another smaller company who is using just a smaller model of their project, as you see here. So this is like a small project where you just are building like apartment complex, and then you get like now access to these apartments and then start exploring more data about this. So here what you see now is actually the public version of it, but the internal version of it, where you actually get access to much more data about the project. Here they only like show you some information about the each apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about, do you see that this kind of platform can improve the city, like to Combify like synergies between the projects? For example, like if a project improves pipeline at the same time, the like electricity can be improved at the same part of the road or city, like thus avoiding like double work.
if I understand your question correctly, for example, I'm just going to take an example when it comes to energy consumption levels. So how it actually functions today is that the municipality asks for an annual report for energy consumption numbers from all of these building developers and stakeholders that they can look at and then publish like a year later. But with this platform, it will the stakeholders or the building developer will be able to log in by him or herself and update the numbers on weekly or monthly basis, which can prevent a lot of problems in the future, that seeing those numbers a year after or something for the public, so that everyone can keep tracking of these things. Yeah.
So here in as an example, in here, the municipality created this project ID about the energy consumption numbers. I can show you here. So, and then here, and then they started entering the energy consumption monthly for each building developer here, what they were expecting and what the actual consumption of the electricity. And then you build in the platform this dynamic system where, based on the value, it gives you the color of the consumption. And this is by itself like now a system for observing the energy consumption in such a big project.
What about has there been any problems with like data privacy, or is that the data is used wrongly, or like resisting in the neighborhood, or that someone has understood the data somehow wrong?
Well, people were kind of like surprised by like that they can actually see this data that easily, because it was not possible before. So we actually got some interest from many. We got some calls from citizens asking for like, how can I like actually do this to my area? Like, how can I like get access to other data? And then this is actually all controlled by each project owner. They decide for themselves like what do they want to share. And of course, then the municipality require certain amount of data in Stockholm for every project, that this is like you're required to share this data.
Yeah, so it's mainly, like public data that is shown to the public. But as my colleague explained at the beginning, is that the part of what we are currently developing is that it will be data that only like you as a project owner, you control what do you want to share and what do you want to work internally and collaborate internally within your Combify profile. But so far, whatever, as my colleague said, whatever data that is contributed to this platform, the base, it's open data anyways. So we don't have a problem with it's not private or people. So yeah.
That is like, I understand that all that is like available, but maybe because you have a better tool to like investigate it, so maybe people like, can just understand. Oh, I can see this and this and so. Yeah. So, are there any other questions for participants there on the line?
Mauri Laasunen from Sweco. I would like to ask if this platform is replacing the project bank. So do we need that anymore in building project if you have this platform?
Sorry, the project replacing the
project bank. So all those other documents we usually have in building project. So can we put those documents here and then don't need a special project bank program anymore?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is exactly now. Lately, we've been meeting with many construction companies and architects about how to actually really digitize the whole document that you share with the customer, and because you have like several documents in a construction project. There is one that you share with the customer, that the building developer, and then there's one that you share with the municipality. And then there are like some part of the project that you share with the public, mainly is the visualization. So now we are like inside the software, we're creating this tool, like the project library, where you create like the drawings, interactive drawings that you link directly to your CAD or BIM software. And then you have the project views where you decide like the point of interest in your project, and then you share it. And then you have the third part is all the URLs and the media that you are working with your project, like what kind of VR maybe you're using, and video animation, or whatever media you're using to explain your project. And in this project library, we give you now then this sharing and privacy policies where you decide, okay, I have this, it's like Google Docs if you think of it. This now I generate this project library that I share only with the stakeholders and the project developer. And then I have the other link, third link, the second link that I share with the municipality. It has less amount of data, or what the municipality is requiring me to share with. And then you have the third one, which will be on the platform map, and that is people only going to see maybe a beautiful site plan, and then like the animation and the explanation about the project with some interesting renderings. And then you, as an engineer, you have full control, and this is linked to your project, like your working files. So it's, instead of doing all this work on Adobe and each time updated, now no, you are actually have a digital format of it. So I hope that I answered your question. Is that what you were asking?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, great.
Juha Liukas here from Sitowise. I'm a little bit interesting about the technical point, what's happened under the hood. That how much work you have to done for the files that you, or the data you will present in the system, and how you harmonize the data.
Oh, very good question. Well, actually, for now we are using the vector format of your drawings inside your software to be linked to the platform. So everything that, as you saw, like you can click, this is it's built on a special layer on your software, that this is, okay, I have this building is a vectored polygon, and when you import it to the system, you import either CAD or shapefile. If you export from your software a shapefile about like your project drawings, then it's mostly including all the data that you wanted to be presented on the web browser. If it's a CAD, then no, you can enter the data and start creating your layer system inside the software, where you start putting the data yourself in it. Of course, now we have this idea of creating a script inside Revit and Archicad, where you can actually easily have this harmony data flow between the cloud and your BIM model. So yeah, we're trying to, because we have massive, I mean, I use Archicad in general as an architect. So what we are trying to do here is not to import all the data inside the BIM model to the platform, because that would be impossible because it's so much data. So we try to visualize the data that is really important and matter for other stakeholders. Yeah. So the technicality, as I said, it's depending on the vector.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. But that's looks like very nice and interesting platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. That looks very nice and like, yeah, for visualize side. But have anyone else have any other questions?
What kind of service agreement do you have now with the stakeholders or companies?
Yes. So now the kind of agreement we have that we don't allow like a company to sign up yet to the platform because we are in the development process. We have been working with several companies and municipalities in Sweden and learning from their feedback and trying our best to actually create the best use cases and the best tool for them. So we're launching this platform now for around 100 companies in Sweden in the next 3 months. And the way it will work that we will go and give them their sign-in information and their account, and they will come in and create their own portfolio or the ongoing projects on the platform. And they are the fully owner of all the data in here. So they can update, delete, create any project on the platform.
And it's a SaaS.
Yeah, and it's a SaaS, of course, it's a SaaS software. And then for your project to be visible on the construction map of Sweden, that's what we show. And this is your request, your project. Now I want this project to be presented, and this is the amount of data I want to share. Mainly, we saw that building companies are only interested, maybe to share only the site plan of their project, just for marketing and publicity kind of purpose. But they see the main use for them is actually for the internal communication and getting rid of this project document that they have to create in each phase of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And if there isn't any questions, thank you so much again, Alaa and Alexandra, that you had time for present, and thank you all also for the participants and especially for your good questions.
Thank you.
And yeah.
I'm sorry, just to mention that our website is under development. So we are relaunching the website and to market and to explain the platform even more. But we'll be more than glad to receive emails if anyone has any questions or want more information or more I'm sorry, or more real examples of the people that and the different parties that are using this platform today.
Yeah, thank you. And as I said earlier, I will send the materials for the participants, and then there is an email, and of course you can send me an email too if you have some improvement thoughts about this morning presentation in general. But thank you.
Yes,
Alexandra.
thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.